Welcome back to part 3 of this folio making series. Today what I thought we would work on is the cover. Gotta get a cover on this, and then working on some of these side pockets and also this insert that goes inside that side pocket. This is the stamp that I used from Iron Orchid. It is the Charlotte stamp. And again, I love this stamp. I do have a few left in stock, just a couple, but this stamp, it's really nice because it has this beautiful assortment. You got the teacup, or you could use it as a coffee cup, gears, paintbrushes, a spoon, which I think I'm going to use that later on, bird, fork. It's a beautiful set, and that is what I used here. So if you're wanting to make yours exactly like mine or very close to mine, this is a wonderful stamp to get. And I love that vintage, kind of Victorian era. For those of you who've been following me, you know I love this style. Even in some of my more whimsical sort of projects that I do with the fairies and everything, it has that kind of vintage flair to it. So to start off with, what I thought we would do is this side pocket. I have this, and then we'll do this flap next, and we will get that out of the way. This is really simple because if you were following along from the previous video, we have this already cut, and this is going to be our side pocket. Now, because I used the white paper in this instead of the black paper, I'm just picking up one of my trim pieces and I'm going to border that right there like so. So that will be my side pocket. So it ends up being 10.5 inches by, again, we're at 2 5/8 is pretty close, yeah. So if you're using different papers and you're not wanting to get the digital collection, you could use whatever you have in your stash, and those are the measurements that I used. Your width of your pocket could even be wider if you wanted it to. It doesn't have to be exact. And we'll just line that up. So we're going to go ahead and lay some glue down to create our pocket. I'm doing this in the morning. I was going to do this last night, but I was exhausted. And so I'm getting a late start in the day. And I just had coffee. And my hands are pretty shaky here. We'll just line that about 1/8 of an inch. I usually go about 1/8 of an inch from any edge that I'm working from. It's just kind of a nice look. And I do want to make sure that I'm centered between the top and the bottom here. Okay, so I am going to make my pocket from 2 pieces of heavyweight cardstock. This part is not really going to be seen a lot. You're just going to see really the outer edges of the pocket. So whatever you use in creating this, whatever extra cardstock you can find is probably going to be fine. Anything with maybe a brown tone, cream tone, blacks, something in this tone would work. I'm just going to use plain old white cardstock. So 8 3/4 by 7 1/4. That's the first piece. Our second piece is going to be a little smaller than that because we want it to go on the inside. Again, we're going to do 1/2 inch. And then you're just going to rotate it to the right and do another 1/2 inch. So go ahead and fold at the scored line. Alright, then go ahead and open it up, and you'll have this one little corner right here. You're you're going to want to cut that off. Let me pencil that in so you can see it a little better. Right there. That little intersection. I'm going to take that vintage photo and just go along these edges. I think I want to round these corners, which I'll have to go back and distress those, but yeah, I like the look of that. Now, if you do not have a chomper, you could just use your scissors and round those corners that way. Yes, I like it. The next thing I'm going to do is we're going to mat this front piece here. I have this design printed out. This is from my digital collection coffee shop. Yeah, just a little less than 6 1/4. Just kind of right in between where that J is. Let's do that. 7 1/4 is what I was thinking. Oh, that's perfect. Perfect. All right, so your piece should look like this. Now we're going to round those corners again, and I'm just going to lightly distress along the edges. Okay, so we're going to have that for our front. Now you might just want to stop there, say, I love it, I love the way that it looks with this front section. We are going to mat this section here as well. This section here I used a stamp as well. This is one of my other favorite stamp sets. Absolutely love this stamp set because, again, you can use this for so many different things. Look at all those beautiful labels. They work great in recipe albums too, because it's all like marmalade and pure cream and Dijon, and oh, I love it. But this is crockery, and I might have a few left of these as well. I'm not sure. I sold a lot of these, and I'll have to check and see. If not, I might be able to get some more. I will check and see, but I'll put the listing down below if I do have any of those left in stock. That is what I used here. This is how I do it. This is what works for me, and everybody has their way. I could get out my stamp platform. That would probably be the safest method for doing this, but I've done so much stamping that, yeah, I just go for it. So I take my black ink, and that's the main thing, is just making sure you lay down a lot of ink. And then this is where, again, I do the CPR. I just kind of let that ink absorb in the paper and try to take each area, especially this face area, and make sure enough pressure is laid down on the paper for that ink to absorb in there. I just lift it and make sure everything is looking good. And look at that. Beautiful. It is beautiful. So I have a little area here that I didn't get, and again I can just take and add in a few hairlines here and there with my black pen to this area here and there too. But there. Isn't she pretty? I mean, she is just a beautiful stamp. Now, what I want to do is just lightly, like I did on this, shade in some of those areas with my distress ink. I'm going to do Vintage Photo, and I want to use a smaller brush, but I want to be very light on how I apply the color. I don't want to go too hard with this, just really light. And I mean, I'm doing feather light here. And we're just going to shade in some of those areas. Kind of like applying makeup a little bit, like if you're going to apply foundation and you're going to contour. That's basically what we're doing. We're going to just lightly go through here where it's a little more highlighted. Just keep it light. You'll probably do just fine on this part. And then I have some of these areas here which are going to be darker. Add in some color, blend that. All right. And now we're going to fussy cut her out. So I have her all fussy cut. I love the way she looks. I do have this label here that I'm going to stamp. Again, I'm going to use a stamp from the crockery set from Iron Orchid. We're going to stamp the same way as I stamped last time. And making sure you have lots of ink. That is the main thing. Stamp it down on there. Just pat that ink, get that ink down in that stamp. That is really important. Apply pressure. Try not to move your stamp. That's really important as well. You just really want to make sure that ink is absorbing into that paper. And again, perfect. It looks great. We're going to cut this one out. And I know a lot of people, like a friend of mine, she hated stamping. She was terrified of it because she was so afraid of getting a bad impression. And I'm just like, no, like just come on, give it a try. Stamping is so much fun. It really is. Once you get the hang of it, I love it. Okay, and see, we're going to place that like so. And I think I'm going to use my washi on this just to kind of tie it in with some elements that I had in the main part of the folio. And so we are going to, let's see, which way do I want to go here? I think I'll go like this. To kind of slant this like so around the corner here, and then we are just going to lay it down over this edge. And I'm going to do the same for the bottom section here. Again, just use some of that washi. The more I use this washi, the more I am loving it. I didn't know what to think of it at first. When I first got it in, I was like, I don't know, you know, like brown. Not, I don't know. It just didn't appeal to me. And now that I'm using this, oh, I love it. It even says croissant here, which goes with our coffee theme. I planned that all along. It's amazing how some of these things come together, and I did not plan it. Okay, again, I'm going to cut that diagonally right where that corner is. and bring it up and around. Oops, what is this? Oh no, you don't want that there. And then glue some of those edges down. And we're going to glue this just right along that edge right there, like so. And start putting it all together. So I'm going to use my tape gun for this. Again, any of those areas I really want to make sure they stay flat and don't get warped. Sometimes your glue gets a little too wet. My tape gun. What is going on with my tape gun? This tape, I have more trouble with this tape. Oh, see? This is what I'm talking about. So I got this tape from Uline, and it's so crazy. You go halfway through the roll and the adhesive is down here where it's supposed to be, but then it switches and I have to flip it the other way. I think I got a defective pack of them. And I got this so long ago. I got like 2 boxes worth, so it's taken me a while to use it all. And for a long time I wasn't using my tape gun because I hadn't been doing a lot of albums like this. And so, yeah, I can't return it. It's been way too long, but it's just weird. It's so weird. So yeah, I have to flip it and go the other way. It's the craziest thing. This is the way it should be going. It starts off all wrong. It's just, it drives me crazy. You know, always has to be something. Like, if it's not this, it's my printer. If it's not my printer, it's my computer. If it's not my computer, it's something else. You know, life. But I am grateful. I wake up every day. I thank the Lord for everything. Even the water I drink. Like, I don't take any of it for granted. And my husband and I, we have gone through some really hard times the last few years, which is part of the reason why I kind of left YouTube for a little bit. I was doing a few videos here and there, but I don't want to go into a lot of it. But we moved and we lost a lot of inventory, and then I started up this subscription, and then the app I was using, they just got up and shut their doors, and then my health, I ended up with frozen shoulder. And I don't know if any of you women have gone through this, but I've had kidney stones during pregnancy, like that I had to have lasered out of me. That was pretty bad because I carried the thing for my whole pregnancy, 9 months of it. It was awful. But this frozen shoulder thing was way worse, and because I wasn't sleeping, and it was hard. I had it for 1.5 years and I couldn't really do much of anything, and so that's a lot of what happened behind the scenes. It was really bad. I mean, I almost wanted to cry just thinking about it, because I feel for anybody who ever has to go through that. It was awful. Awful, awful. But there's this amazing doctor in Arizona, Dr. Ball. And I told my husband, we live here in Montana, and I said, if you can't get me to go see him, I'm done. I'm done. He's amazing. He's absolutely amazing. Yeah, he did wonders in 1 week. 1.5 years of seeing different therapists here in Montana. And you know, the sad thing is, I told people in Montana, like, what this doctor does and how he is the only one who was able to help me. And I know he's helped many others who have shared similar experiences to me. But, yeah, he's in Chandler, Arizona. Dr. Ball. Oh gosh. I couldn't walk. I mean, it started affecting my neck, my back, everything. it was awful. And I'm trying not to cry because it was such a hard time of my life. It was so hard. And I'm not even the crying type. But I just felt like I was going to lose everything. And there are some of you who really stuck through it all, you know? And it just meant everything. And to be back and just, yeah, better, I have no idea. I have no words. So anyway, I'm not going to try to get into all of that, but yeah, that's just a little bit of everything that I was going through. Okay, we have her, and I'm going to create a pocket with her. And so I'm going to back her with some black cardstock. All right, we're going to just kind of create, again, this little drop shadow with the black cardstock. I'm just doing this little border going around her. And again, I'm doing about 1/8 of an inch, trying to do about 1/8 of an inch the whole way around. There we go. Now I have her sticking a little bit above my front pocket section here, and I don't think I mind it. I actually kind of like it. And so what I'm going to do is we're going to glue, but I don't want to go up above where this is, so I'm just going to, we're going to apply a little glue right here on our pocket for where her head is going to sit, and then we want to go along this edge here to create that inner pocket. And then of course she sits down below, so we're going to put right along there. Oh, and I do need, well, maybe just a tad right here. And I can always add, you know, some more glue to sections if I need. We don't want her to stick to the back part of our pocket here. Really like the way that turned out. Going to take our glue and apply it to this section right here. We have to do the back section. And I have a few ideas for the back of this. You could go the easy route, or you could go the hard route, or the harder route, the challenging route. But then I had this, and it's from this die set, and I have a few of these available, so again, I'll list it below if you're interested. It's an older Spellbinders die, but I absolutely love this die. And so I have this little vine oval, and I kind of like the design elements with this die cut, and I think I'm going to use that, but I'm going to offset it just a little bit so it kind of goes like that. I think right about there. There we go. Really way this turned out. You know what else I did here that really made a difference is I stamped this one lightly, and then I did a lot of my own pen work, like I filled in her eyes, and that's what is different on this. So what I could do, and again, you do not have to do this. I just like showing some of the things that I do to really elevate some things here and there that drive me crazy, and it's the artistic side of me. This is where that comes out. But just adding a little white in her eye and bringing out some of those details a little more, I think is going to make a world of difference, and that's why I'm liking my prototype one a little better, because I just added in some of those finer details. And we have her lip area right through here, which I think we could bring that out just a little bit more, and some highlights up in that upper lip. I mean, we're just talking barely. I don't want to overdo it. And then just kind of breaking this up just a little bit under here. Can you see the difference already? I mean, we're just adding in a few specks of white here and there, and it really makes a huge difference. Like through here, I might even just bring some of that white onto the black area. Bring her lash out a little bit, and we got to add just a little white here on this section there. Makes a huge difference. We might even just, you know, go extend on some of that black there. Just kind of soften some of these areas here and there. Make that black not so stark. But these are the little things that I like to teach, and again, you may not find that in other videos you watch. I add in these little details, you know, kind of artistic details here and there to just draw the eye a little bit. Now I have I have a little white where I probably shouldn't have put it. We're just going to go back over with the black pen. I'm going to get one of my like 0.8. Try that. And I love the jelly roll pens. Those are the ones I grab the most. I have the best luck with these ones. I find the other ones clog a lot, and so I tend to struggle with those a little more. But you can just see we're just adding some pen strokes here and there. So there, you can kind of see how we took that stamp and just gave some life to it. And again, I could sit here and just continue to play on and on. Have some fun if you're stamping. This is one of the things I love about stamping, is the coloring part of it. Taking a black pen, adding in some other details, finer details, doing some hand strokes with the pen here and there just to kind of give it more of a hand-drawn look. Some sketch lines. It just kind of, you know, gives it life. We need to do the back. And so there's a number of things we can do. On this one, I did more stamping. I took my black pen and my white pen and went around it to kind of create this visual to make it kind of pop from the page. Also, I did this on that brown file folder, and we have the white that we're doing. I have the stamped image that I did from the Charlotte stamp set where I brought in that teacup, or you could have as a coffee cup, and then I collaged in some of my scrap pieces for my digital designs. So I like the look of this. If you're not interested in doing anything like that, stenciling, stamping, collage, all of that, then you could just take some of your decorative cardstock, and I did include in your kit, I did include this, and you could apply this on the back of your file folder, which would also look, you know, pretty neat. Some of it would get cut off, but you'd have the main espresso machine showing. I am going to use this for a different part of the folio, so just a heads up on that. So you might want to save this, or you could use just some of your plainer cardstock, cut it down, you know, and have that as your back. But this is where I like to teach, is the artistic side of things. This is where I like to have fun and just play. I love to collage, and that is what I'm going to do on the back of this. I just have to think here what it is we are going to do. So what I did is I used, and this did not come in your kit, but you could cut your roll down, you know, so you cut pieces of it. I used the smaller roll in the set, so I used this one right here. And I'm going to use it again. And we're just going to take some of this and apply this to this edge here. Again, if you do not have this washi tape and you're wanting to use something in your stash, you could do a stamped image. Again, you could take one of your scrap pieces from the digital and just create a little border with that. For those of you who received a kit, you got this little packet. It's got some stickers, it's got this washi here, and we're going to go ahead and open this up. I did create one extra one for myself to use for video purposes. Okay, and your washi is going to look different than mine, but it will be coffee themed, and so you can grab that washi from your kit, and we are going to just apply a little bit of this right up here at the top, I think. And then I'm going to just tear it. And just to incorporate it, you know, in a different area, I might just put another little section down here. The stamps that I do for Blue Fern, and I do have some amazing stamps I cannot wait to show you. They will be coming out soon. I've been trying to get in touch with Blue Fern. I did reach out to them, and one of the owners was sick, so she said to give it a couple more days. So I did reach out, and I'm just waiting to hear back from her to get the launch date on the new collection so I can let all of you know when to expect that. It has been something I have been working on for over a year, and I'm so excited to show all of you the new collection. I cannot wait to show you, and the stamps. Oh, yes. I wish I could use them. I wish I could show you. I got my white cardstock here. And again, I'm just going to press down and then I can just kind of lift and peek and see how it's looking. And if it's looking good in all areas, yeah, we'll lift it. And look at that. It's just vivid and crisp. Look at the beautiful details in this stamp. Maybe I'll just use like this section here. I kind of like this cafe. I could cut that out and then cut this out and this and just collage with it. I haven't used this stamp before, I don't think. Oh, it's really stuck on there. Now you could You could take, and I have a spoon image in the digital, and that's like what's showing here, and you could just fussy cut that out from the digital and use that spoon image. I'm going to use my stamp, and I think we'll put it right up there. I am going to just go ahead and just start cutting out sections from this design. This is from my digital design coffee shop. And again, for those of you who have purchased it, thank you so very much. I do want to make mention, if you're part of the quarterly subscription, you'd get this for free. So if you're already subscribed on the quarterly, not the monthly, but the quarterly, you get this free. And reach out to me. I will make sure you get the code. I'm going to go ahead and cut this down here like so. If I need to print another one, I can always print another one. And that's the great thing about a digital. It ends up going halfway through the spoon. I think that's okay. So if we take and we slide this under like so. So starting with this piece, we're going to put that down first. Okay, we'll put that right there. I think I might do this piece next. Okay, we have that piece. I could even see, like, maybe this can go this way. But we could put that there. I'm going to do that. Go ahead and tape this down right about there. And then we will cut that off. So I'll glue this down. And I'm going to do the spoon as well. And there we go. It's not working for me. And so I think I'm just going to use some washi. And it's still not working for me. Let's see. What if I go like that and do it that way? I think I like that. Now, let's see here. That's the great thing about washi, is you can always pull it off if you don't like it. going to cut that little piece there. My deco edge scissors here. And we could just put a little piece up there because that's all it needs. It just needs that little bit right there. And then I'm going to do the same thing. My deco edge scissors. I'll just kind of give it this rough look on the edge there. I think, yep, it needs to go there. All right, deco edge that. I like that. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. There we go. Better. And then I can still see that cafe right there. Cafes. Glue that down. And we will stick that right there. And then we just have our spoon and our mug and the cafe, and we are done with the back. Other than I take that back, I do still want to stencil, add in some of the coffee stains. Oh, I thought I glued that down. I didn't. And then our spoon. Okay, then we have this piece. I think I'm going to back that right there. Kind of lined up with this. Okay, on this cafe, what I'm going to do before I glue this down, I guess it doesn't matter, you could do it either way. I'm going to take my black pen and I am going to just add this little black line up above. I probably should be doing it here just so I don't go off and accidentally go on the folio. And we'll do it on the side here. And right up along this edge here. Glue it down. And we are going to put this right there. And there we go. Oh, I think it looks good. I like it. I wanted to add in some coffee stains. So we're just going to take our vintage photo. I might go with some of the ground espresso too. I want a little darker. There we go. Yes, that is what I wanted. I might put just a little bit through here. then I was supposed to do the mug as well, which I didn't do. And I don't want it to blend in too much, but we might just lightly, very lightly, go over some of those wider sections and just make it so it's not as stark white on the page. Just very lightly. There. Now I think that's good. You could even have lots of fun and get some of your colored pencils. And where I have these golden tones, I think that would look so pretty in there. And so again, later when I come back to part 5 and we're doing more decorating, I might go back and add in just some of these gold tones, maybe some of these. Add some of those in to bring in some more color just on these flowers right around there. I think that would be fun. So we'll see. We will see. I might even add more color to her too. Maybe just a little bit of a rusty red on her lips, a little bit of blush, some tones that kind of match in with these. That would be fun to do as well. But for now, we're going to leave it as it is. And let's see how this looks in our folio. There we have it. Fits in there perfectly. The cardstock I noticed that I picked for this border is really, it's not heavy enough, so I might take, if I can find a piece long enough, or even from part of my 12 by 12, I want to do that heavyweight, this. I might just take some of this and do a black border, maybe even just like that, where that comes in and out to give it a little more durability. So I think I might do that because it's just really kind of weak, and I'm afraid that after some time goes by, it's just going to tear. I have done this to a lot of projects where I go back and I think something through and it's like ripping through the project, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this scraper tool. Well, actually, this is my paint spatula, but even if you don't paint, these are handy to have around for things like this. I'm just going to take and gently slide this off enough to where I can squeeze this underneath there. Now we're just going to glue the top part of this. Do not glue the bottom part because this is a pocket that we're reinforcing. So we're just going to apply glue right along, maybe. Apply glue right along here, and then we'll just kind of slide it to spread some of that glue. We're just going to stick it right underneath there. And I'm going to slide it to spread some of that glue and slide it back really quickly because this glue sets fast. And there we go. And then we can glue our edge back down here. Okay. I could take and put some washi there. I could put some washi there. And just kind of clean it up even more. Kind of like the look of that. And then just take my X-Acto knife to trim that edge there. And then, of course, I'm going to apply just a dab of glue on each end. And again, I do have a few of these washi boxes of washi available. I have the listing down below. So I'm going to do this a little differently than the prototype. I'm going to make it a little shorter length, this cover section here, and we're going to give it an appearance where we extend it out, adding a border, because I only gave you one of these file folders in your kit. If you did not get the kit, you could use any manila file folder. You could even just use cardstock and recreate your pocket, your cover that we're going to do, doing the same exact thing that we did here, but you'll just make it longer. We're going to take off, looks like 4 inches. Oh, I guessed that pretty good. So we're going to take off 4 inches. We need to take off this section here. So we want this to be 6 5/8 in width. I don't know if my cutter is going to go through this here. And keep this piece because we're going to use this in a little bit as well. Alright, this is where we need to take and extend this and create our pocket. Okay, so 3 inches height. Let's do 7 1/4 of an inch. Okay. And then do another piece this size. So we're going to do, again, we'll do 3 inches. And then 7 1/4. Alright, so you should have 2 solid pieces. You could do charcoal gray, you could do, you know, whatever color you want to do there. I'm going to distress these white edges really quick. We're going to extend the length of our file folder here because I needed to use that other section for our flap that goes on our side pocket. Now this is going to set over, I'm thinking right about there. So this is going to come behind it. And so I'm going to take my pencil and just mark right about where I want this to come across. Kind of like right there. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut off just from this one edge, we're going to cut this off. Alright, this piece is going to come down like so, and this one is going to come right there. Let's line that up. We're going to score this. I'm just going to mark where I want to score. You're probably thinking, what am I thinking here? This is the madness. This is my creative madness you're seeing. I swear, I have a huge table, a huge project table. I need just like 500 square feet table to work from. I need it that big. I have stuff just everywhere. All right. It's never enough space. Okay. So it's going to be 1 1/8 that we're going to score at. All right. And I think I'm going to go ahead and close this off now that we have that one little section cut off. Just put a light strip of glue just right along there. We are going to apply glue, and you can see where we cut, just right up on that edge there. So we're going to slide this, spread the glue a little bit. We're going to line it up right with where we cut it. And this kind of gives me a guide to make sure I'm straight. And then we will fold this up. So we are going right on this edge, and I mean right on it. You don't want to get glue on this intersection here and close your pocket, so that's very important, but this is going to go right on that edge. And we'll fold this up. We'll go ahead and bring our flap up here. We'll glue that. And I think, you know what? It worked. So now we just have to cut this so it's all even, and then we'll round that corner, and it should be all good to go. So right there. And we're going to round both corners, this one and this one. And then we just need to close our pocket. We'll close our pocket. And I think that looks pretty good. But just to make it so it blends in, we are going to create our hinge from this. So what we're going to do is we're going to take and cut this down to 3 inches. And then our height is at 11 inches. Then we're going to want to score at 1.5 inches all the way down. And we'll fold it on the score line. We want to go back and forth and back and forth. Right there. Oh, you know what? What was I thinking? Okay, the height should be the height of this, so we need to take off let's see. Our height should have been at 10 1/4 inch. All right, try this again here. So we're going to glue this part first. All right, and then we just want to center this from top to bottom. Hold that in place. Make sure all your edges are glued down. All right, and now we have our cover here that we're going to attach. Kind of just spreading that glue around. And make sure you line everything up. Okay, so we have the other flap that's going to go this way, and that is our scrap piece that we had from here. And this, I need to check my prototype here. We are just going to be careful on how we cut this and do it as straight as we possibly can. All right. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And then what we're going to have to do is we are going to have this, we're going to create a little hinge here, and we need to cut off this much just from this top section here. So I just kind of eyeballed it and penciled it. Went down a little too far. And we'll cut that part off. Okay. And then we're going to round this corner. And then we need to take our scoreboard and we are going to score at this edge right here, and it just happens to hit right at the 8-inch mark. And this will be our hinge. Okay, so this is going to sit right along there. And we're going to create a hinge here, and then we're going to put a reinforcement here. So you will not see this. You want to make sure that you fold your at that score line, that you fold it back and forth, because you want this to move easily. So I'm going to use this design right here. See, I have this at 6 and it looks like 3/8. And then 7 1/16 of an inch. And I do want to round the corner. Just on that left corner there, we'll round that. And then we can go ahead and attach that down. And now I'm going to glue this on to the side of our folio. So it goes right above where it says cafe, right at that black, where that black section ends. We're going to go right there. And make sure you have it going the right way. Right there. And then this comes down this way, and then it goes out like so. And definitely want to get rid of the glue there because we do not want it to stick there. And we will decorate all of this and make that look nice. I think, I really want to finish that cover. And I know you probably all do too if you're following along. We should just do the cover, huh? Just get the cover done. Let's do it. So this video might be longer than usual, but it will be so worth it, right? I got my print. We're going to fussy cut her out. That'll be the first thing that we do. Just cut right along there. Okay, now I want to use the same piece, and we're going to just clean up some of these edges here. So let's cut this right. So let's see, right about, let's just go right about here. And then going to take off those white borders. This will be part of the background. We have her. You know, I'm going to do the washi tape. I think that's just the easiest thing to do. So I'm going to take some of that wider washi tape, and we will apply it right along the edge there. And then I'll use my X-Acto knife to just cut on that edge. We're going to go ahead and attach this down though. Right there. Okay, so I found this scrap piece. I am going to use this, but I'm going to cut it down below where it says teas and coffee because I already have that showing there. And so maybe right where those musical notes are. And then we will cut it this way. And I can use this just like maybe right there. And we could put Our Lady right there. And I think that will work perfectly. We could even maybe do some sort of border. Maybe use a little piece of this. Yep, I like that. So let's see, maybe right about there. Just eyeball it. So we'll have something like That's a little too long. Something like this. So I'll glue that down and then we can put her down. Like so. And I want to leave about 1/8 of an inch of this border showing. Right, we'll let that dry. And now all we have left to do is back her against some black cardstock, stick her down. We're going to make a pocket with her, just lightly around those edges. Give her some color right in through here. Again, I'm going really light. And then you can make those edges a little darker. Right in here a little bit, just kind of shade it, kind of like we did the other lady. But boy, you want to go light because you do not want a big glob of distress ink on, blotted on her face. Open the eyes a little bit there. We're just going to create a drop shadow, again, going around her. Right about maybe a 1/16 inch border going around. And I'm just following the shape. And I like to go kind of slowly here. I try to get as even of a border going around as possible. It's not perfect. It's not even close to perfect, but you really can't tell unless it's... So I'm going to put glue right along here because I do not want it there, so I'm going in a little bit and here. I can also put some glue down on this edge. And I have her hanging just slightly. Get rid of the glue there. Oh, I forgot to do the bottom of her. Need to do the bottom. And we can do right at the bottom on that part. So that's right about where I have her, and we need a little right there. And then what I usually do is I take a tag And I kind of just make sure we have a good pocket. Nothing's glued, you know, where it shouldn't be glued. Because you want to get it before your glue really sets. So our pocket, it looks good. And we will have some fun creating some fun stuff to put inside. But yeah, there it is. I think I might just use some of my washi here. Or I have my small roll of washi that I could do. I think I might just do that. Just to kind of disguise some of that yellow. My toner just was not good. Just to kind of finish this off for this video, we will make this look nice. I think I'm going to use this. Just nice and simple. You could use this too, whichever side you like. Wait, what am I doing? 6 1/8 of an inch. Or 1/16. Let's do 1/16. Okay. And then 10 3/8 it looks like. Tomorrow we're going to do the middle section, and then the last part, the 5th part, is going to be the decorating. That is going to be a fun day. You don't want to miss out on that day. I am hoping to have that out Thursday or Friday. I might have it sooner, but this video took a lot longer than what I thought, and so it's going to put me a day behind. Alright, let's create a pocket. I think I'm going to get my punch and just create a little notch. So we'll kind of eyeball where the middle is. Alright, and we'll go ahead and I'm going to just glue those edges. And then line this up. And that looks good. So we have our pocket, and what I'm thinking is taking some of the pockets that came in the digital designs, and we're going to add those to this page. But I like the way that looks, and I think it's coming along great. We got our flap here that we did. We did our little pocket folder here. We did our side pocket. We did a lot in this video. Did some decorating, which was supposed to be for part 5, but I couldn't resist. So we have that. And we'll have to decorate this panel here. It went a lot longer than what I was planning, but you can see we're getting towards the end. Our folio is coming together, and it's getting to where we are about 3/4 of the way done. We do have this middle section that we will be working on. That will be coming tomorrow, and again, that is going to be this section here that we're going to do in the next video, and I hope to have that out tomorrow. I'm not sure because this video went a lot longer than I thought, But look at how cool that's going to look once we get that part in. And yes, it's turning out beautifully. I hope you're enjoying these videos. I hope you're enjoying this series, this folio series. Please leave me a comment. Let me know if you're enjoying these tutorials. I really would appreciate it, just some sort of feedback to kind of get some gauge on if I should do more tutorials or just shorter projects. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And I will be back and we'll do part 4. We'll do this middle section here, and then part 5 is going to be a lot of decorating. So that's where you're going to see me do some collaged envelopes and tags and fun things to decorate our folio with, and then maybe even go into, you know, some of this junk journal that I'd like to incorporate into this. And of course we have our panels here. There's a lot for the decorating part of it. It's going to be a fun video. That's what I really love to do. I mean, I love all of it, but decorating, you know, where you get to just have fun and decorate, that's my favorite part of each project. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you're enjoying the previous videos. And again, I do have plans to do a lot more videos. So if you're liking the projects and you're liking what you're seeing, hit the like button. Please do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. I have the listings for the digital collection. I have listings for the washi that I used and the stamps. You can check those down below, and we'll see you back. Thank you so much for watching.